Any person who committed atrocities, criminal, financial, we will have to be tried. The UN is there. We're not calling it. We have two options, either to succeed or succeed. And I think we're moving in that direction.
You recently requested that UN peacekeeping forces be deployed in the whole of Sudan. Why did you do that? Why is the UN needed now in Sudan?
Actually, let us put this into its proper context. We did not just woke up one day and said we want the UN to come to the country. The UN is there. We're not calling it.
But for the whole of Sudan?
The UN is there under Chapter 7. Meaning that is, if there is anything that you could closely call it loss of sovereignty, is what is happening today. What we are calling for is to move the UN from Chapter 7 to Chapter 6, which would allow us to express our wish. And if you could call it anywhere, dictate on the UN on our priorities, this is where we would like to create an opportunity where we tell the UN, this is what we want. We'd like you to come, do 1, 2, 3, 4, on our terms. The whole country approach is an idea we discussed in our national committee for a number of months. What it tells us in the past, the UN intervention in Sudan was compartmentalized. It is Darfur, it is a Blue Nile, it is Nuba Mountains, South Kordofan, and all that. What we would like to see when we say whole country approach is addressing the challenges and the issues and the requirement and the objectives of the entire transitional period. This certainly has some agenda which is of national nature, of a whole country. When you talk about elections, you're not going to have them in Darfur. It will be the whole country. Constitutional conference. It will engulf the entire country. The process itself. We would like to enlist the support of the UN in those processes that of a national nature. That's why we call it a whole country approach. That support could be providing one advisor, could be providing technical support. Take an example, the election. Today, we would like to embark on a process that will conclude this transitional period with an election. The UN has accumulated experiences, technical and otherwise, across the globe. Support on addressing issues of election systems, an election system that will provide us with an opportunity to represent all our people. The UN could provide that. So it's not about entrusting this entirely to the UN. The funding of the elections, the UN has accumulated very rich experience in generating resources and funds to support the elections. So it's only perfect. And we are part of the UN. Huh? It's not like another body or something that's coming from somewhere.
Let's turn to the topic of the hour, the possibility of former President Omar al-Bashir to appear before the International Criminal Court. Will he be sent over to The Hague?
The idea of justice need to be served to the maximum satisfaction of the victim is something was well articulated in the constitutional transitional period document. We will definitely uphold that. There are 4 ways of addressing this. The ICC is one of them. ICC itself has so many levels. It could be an ICC in The Hague, could be an ICC compliant court that is in Sudan or in the region, transitional justice, issues of truth and reconciliation, compensation, individual and community. We are not going to rest until the victims, those victims, to be satisfied that justice not only being perceived but actually being served. And that is how we see it.
From what I understand, all options are now open. You still haven't decided whether it be in The Hague or in Sudan or in a regional court.
Yeah.
Are all options open?
Of course, this is something, the announcement of this was part of our peace negotiations. And I think this is something I want to tell you one thing. Any person who committed atrocities, criminal, financial, we will have to be tried. And that is our bottom line. We are working on rebuilding our judiciary system and all that, and we hope to have a credible, independent judicial system. Sudanese.